curious just to know why. But then, this is where everything became darker. In listening to their stories, it hit me strongly when I realized that I was also a victim. And then I knew I had to tell my own story. After the conversation I had with the people and after the recording of the video, I went home, but I couldn't sleep that night. Because I was so worried, why would people lock up such enormous, unexplainable pains in their hearts, which they couldn't share with anybody? Now, coincidentally, for the people that I talked to in this video, unfortunately, we both share similar predicaments, because the loss of someone's loved one is one of the things that can trigger unexpected emotion and turn someone into a beast. But it also reminds us to really understand that whatever that you are passing through in this world, it's good to remember that you are not alone.
I stopped going to church because of some personal reasons. I don't know if I'll call it personal reasons, but I think it was like a battle of myself. So I lost my dad. So after losing my dad, I just felt like more like maybe God failed me or something. So I stopped going to church.
Like you felt that you've been abandoned by God. That's why you just stopped going.
It was not really like I've been abandoned by God, because I know He didn't abandon me. But it was more like I just felt like my dad was going to church and he still died. So I didn't see any need for... It was not as if I drifted from God. I did not. But I didn't just allow myself to accept the fact that I can still be going to church. I can still be serving God.
And such bad thing will still happen to you. It will be like, what's the point?
Yes.
I think at this moment, I have a very personal story on that. It's just like we have the same story about this, to be very honest with you, because look at what happened in the year 2020 during the corona. I lost my dad. I also lost my dad. How did it happen? It just small brief illness. Let me just cap the whole story short. We're in the hospital. My dad was on that hospital bed. Then, at the moment when the doctor, tells you that you have to take this man home, take your loved ones home, take them home, that there is nothing to be done. You know that kind of feeling. So at that moment, I think about myself. I was standing there with my mom and my sister. When the doctor told me that as the man who is there, who can be able to handle that kind of, information, then the only thing that came to my mind was to pray. So I told my dad, my mom and my sister, we have to be praying. Let's start praying. So we started praying so that my dad will resuscitate. Yeah, will not die. We prayed. In the midst of that prayer, at the end of the day, my dad still died. It was a very painful thing. Like, that made me to be thinking. Like, I started questioning about the efficiency of prayer. Do you understand me? And that made me to understand that most of the people in the world who can be running their mouths to judge people, when I look at them, I feel like they have not seen anything. They have not been tested by life. Because life can push you. Life can test you. All right. So that is the reason. Let me just go back to you so that let it not be like I'm taking the interview from you, but I just have to chip in these things so that we can understand the bigger picture.
Yes.
So now I want to ask you, do you have any other personal challenge, when it comes to your faith as a Christian? Because you're still a Christian, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have any other personal challenge that made you to say, okay, I have to take a break from this church thing?
The personal challenge I had was still revolving my dad. Now, how the church members handled his death. They didn't turn up. And this was somebody, he was like one of the benefactors in church. He was like the daddy of the church. So when he died, the general overseer everybody just relaxed. So I felt like churches were scam.
Oh my God. I think many people feel the same way. many people feel the same way. That is why I go around and I'm asking people the reason why they really do what they do, why they really go to church. Because when that happens to me, in my own experience, I was thinking maybe prayer is a scam. I was thinking like maybe prayer is not really real, because I was thinking if I can pray and what can happen still happen, that means there is no point in doing all of these things. So that is it. So let me ask you one important question about life. Do you still have any intention of being more consistent when it comes to church?
Well, I really want to draw close to God. Why? Because there are some certain things revolving around me, and I feel like God's hands is still in my life. So I really want to draw close to God. But the aspect of going to church, I really don't know, because I don't even know if there's any church that like I really want to concentrate on. I really want to dedicate my time. I really want to put all my efforts into going. So that's the issue I'm having.
So what do you think that we can do that maybe when that will happen to you, or someone can do to you to make you to remain consistent, and since it seems like you're falling behind and the way the world will see it, what do you think that we can do or someone can do to make you to remain consistent when it comes to the faith?
For me, I'm not really sure anybody can do anything. It's just about prayers, just to go into prayers. Because if you're saying there's something you can do, then I'm not sure it's really my faith speaking. So it has to be something that I have to agree within myself. I have to talk to myself that yes, I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to I accept your way of doctrine and the rest. So I think that's the only thing. I just need to see something that I accept myself, like your doctrine, your way of practice. I like it and I'm going with it.
Did you really believe that going to church can make someone to be successful, to be more prosperous in life? Did you believe that?
I don't believe.
You don't believe that? But I think many people do. People who go to church, like I've talked to a couple of people, and I think that's where their mindset revolves. That when they go to church, when they pray to God. Did you pray?
Funny enough, before my dad died, I knew how to pray very well. I could pray. But after my dad died, it's as if I don't know what to say anymore. Each time I try to pray, the words are not coming. Each time I try to pray, even if I try to pray now, let me say I pray now, I try to look for a word to pray now. Tomorrow I'm still repeating the same thing I said previously. It's just that same words. There's nothing different. So that's why I said I think it's something that I have to accept in my mind, because each time I try, even when they say wake up in the night and pray, each time I try, I wake up in the night, I'm blank. I don't know what to say. So it's as if I've never been to church. I don't know what to say. I don't know.
Have you tried to talk to somebody? You've been consuming all this thing, absorbing all this thing on your own. One thing, this made me to feel a little emotional right now, because many people are facing the same thing when it comes to their faith life, when it comes to their Christian lives, and they are not talking about it. Nobody is talking about it. But the only thing that I would say is that I think we need help. All right, we need help, and it's not even about money, but about what we believe in, so that we can be able to preserve what we believe in. So now you've talked about your Christian experience, your faith life. Then I think I should have asked you about, do you believe in atheism, like the fact that somebody's atheist? Sorry, don't cry. Sorry.
I don't know if that's what I want to go to, but I also came to the conclusion myself that I think what everybody believes in, that's what works for them. Traditional rulers, Christianity, as far as you're calling the same God, it's working for you. So I believe the traditional rulers, what they are doing is working for them. Christianity, what they are doing is working for them. So
Same with other religion. With other religion. All right. I think I will draw the curtain now. So thank you so much for spending time with us. And I think many people are passing through a lot, as I told you before. Like, we are going through things, and I think what really made us the strongest people, what will really make us strong, is our ability to stay strong. It's in our ability to believe strongly in what we believe in. But now think about it, when you believe in something and then it seems like what you believe in is no more working for you. You put those things to test, it's no more working for you. When the actual time for you to put that thing to test, you didn't see any result. Now ask me how you're going to feel.
I stopped going to church for so many reasons. You understand? So one of them is like the other person you interviewed. She said her dad's death and all that, you know. So same thing happened to me. You understand? But my own, I don't really know how to explain it. So my dad was actually a pastor, you know.
The pastor?
So he was a pastor. So I hardly tell people about it because they will not believe me. They hardly believe, you know.
Just say it, we'll believe you here. We'll believe you.
They hardly believe. So, you know all these churches that their pastors and they do competition with their fellow pastors. When they promote you to the other part of
Church politics.
church politics, there will be enviness and competition. So they now promoted my dad to a very higher level. So on the process, start hearing rumor, all these. Anywhere we go, we. Okay, let me just say, during those times, you will be, perceiving jealousy, enviness from their kids, from their kids. When they come to the party, it'll be like, this man is not supposed to be here. You understand?
That kind of vibe.
That kind of vibe is not supposed to be here. There are other senior pastors, but why is he here?
He didn't want it.
He doesn't. He did not want it. You understand? During those times, so as a kid, if I hear those kind of things, because I used to be sensitive.
How old are you by that time?
I was let me just say 10 years, 11 years.
That's a very long time ago.
10 years, 11 years. So during those times, because of the way my mom trained us, you understand. So when we were very tender, we used to be very sensitive. So when I hear those kind of words, I will tell my mom, say, Mom, this is what I'm hearing, And the way she would take it serious, I will know that this is not ordinary something. She would now take the matter to my dad and say, see what Samuel is saying, You understand, Now she will start telling us to start avoiding interactions and
With this kind of people.
those kind of people. So our time went ahead. They tried their best, and they killed my dad.
They killed your dad.
I'm telling you. I don't want to mention the church name, Sha.
You don't need to mention it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want to mention the church name, Sha. So
It's not necessary.
they killed him. So after they killed him, as time went ahead, I was like, I don't need to, there is nothing inside church again. There is not no motivation, no inspiration. So there is no need for me to go to church. I start even there my mom was going to church, but I refused.
Because you still have that bitterness inside of you.
Like my dad was a pastor. He preached the word of God. He communicates. You understand? He has that spirit of convincing you to believe in God, even if you are a hardcore sinner.
It's so painful.
You understand? So I told my mom I will not go to church again. My mom said, "Why? Go to church. God, don't worry. God has forgiven them.
Oh my God.
Go to church, you know." I said I will not go. So I have a talent. I have a talent of becoming
You're a musician now, I know that.
musician. Yeah. I started writing songs when I was very tender, but during those times I was in children choir. I composed during those times. I composed, and it becomes a hit within the churches. So after then, when I started growing up, I felt like I needed to switch. So there is no need for me to do gospel. I know inside of me, I know that I'm a gospel artist. You understand? Because during those times,
intrinsically you knew that you are a gospel artist.
I know. So anywhere I go, if I go to a spiritual, like if I try to get a spiritual encounter, they will still reveal it to me that you are just born to sing for God. But me, I said no. I don't like in the other side. I don't feel happy doing it. But when I'm alone and I know that
This thing is there.
I have promise that I need to fulfill. You understand? I will start singing for God, and when I sing for God, I start, like if somebody promised to do something for me, and I start singing for God, I will just receive a call. Afana, where you did that? Come now, we will do this one.
Wow, this is wonderful.
I maintain that instinct that I need, because those times I started writing song. I go to studio, I record. You understand? It will be like, oh boy, you have a nice voice, so you understand. So when they come with that advice or encourage, start advising me, oh boy, switch to gospel
Song.
Oh boy, you don't spoil my mind. You don't spoil my mind. Like I never wanted to hear
do that.
it. You understand? Even when I knew, that I'm already born singer to sing for God.
I think what you are feeling is that kind of feeling of offense. Are you feeling that God offended you? Are you feeling like church offended you? What do you really feel like? Anything like that?
I wouldn't say God offended me, because normally they said that we should not question God. You understand? That everything is programmed. You understand? He already knew that that maybe I will not have a dad. Like I will not see my dad while growing up.
That's very painful.
But on the side of playing politics in church, and say, on that aspect of saying this person does not belong to this side, he's still young. He's just a younger pastor. Why is it here? Why is he here playing politics? You understand? When you know that this person does this thing more perfect than the others, that's why he's here. He's there. You understand?
Yes.
And they started manipulating spiritually just to remove him.
And did you know the worst thing of all this thing is because these people are calling in the name of God. They are calling in the name of God and hiding on the fact that they are worshiping God while they are doing evil. That is the most painful part of it. So when you look at all these things, you feel like, what's the point? Like, why am I doing this? Why do I have to go to church if there's no point in it? if I will go to church and I will not be protected, if I will go to church and my prayer will not be answered, if I worship God and still die untimely, is that the will of God that your dad would die like that? I think this is just the pain in the people's mind, the pain in people's hearts. But let's just cut the long story short. Thank you so much. You told me some time ago, based on our last discussion, that how you took a break from going to church. So what really made you to take that break? I would like to know that.
I think it's more on self-realization. Sometimes you need to know why you're doing what you're doing. Honestly, I would say there are a lot of things that's happened in my life, and I'm like, this can't just happen like that. I tend to, because I'm a Christian, give the accolades to the Supreme God, the Supreme Being, in the name of God and our Lord Jesus Christ. And we are all to love. Another discovery I've made recently is that our conscience sometimes may be our God, because whether you're a Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, or whatever it is you worship, or even if you decide not to worship anything, when you do the wrong things, your conscience actually plugs you or something.
You said something about those who, if you choose to not worship anything. So, had you been an atheist who doesn't believe in God, who doesn't believe in anything, and you believe in God the way I see, the way you told me right now, how would you convince me that God is really real?
So some pastors will ask you questions and then introduce Christ to you, and you naturally just feel lighter. Now that's like an experience already on its own. So that makes you want to, okay, let me get to know more on this because of that result. So personally for me, you just have to listen to the person when this person is talking. Everybody has a reason. It's not popular in Africa for you to have someone that doesn't believe. So when you listen to the person and know why the person does not believe, then you tend to speak from your experience mostly. With a little bit help of the Holy Spirit anyway, but you tend to speak from your experience mostly. And then you now pray for the person and allow the Spirit to do his thing.
The way you spoke about spirit and the spirituality and God, you believe in prayer so much, right? Does prayer work?
There are intercessory prayers. There are just you speaking. I think we small Christians, we need to understand that you need to be in communication with the Father. To many people, prayer is always asking. Some people, prayer is just saying, how far God I did here. I never greet you this morning, I just want to greet you. That's prayer. You can speak that, you want to speak it in pidgin on your dialect. You can say it as rough as I've said, I just want to greet you, Papa, I just did here. How you be now? How your side? Other side where you did now. I don't wake up or wait till you get plan for me today. It's prayer, communication. Yes. And then he speaks to you back if you listen. But if you're always troubled in your heart, maybe your pikin never go school, you blame school fees on the spirituals, your work is not going far, you blame it on the spirituals, this is not going this, you blame it on the spirituals.
That's not the right way to go, right?
Yeah, because you can't always be blaming things. You can't always blame. Like I said, you have to first realize that you owe yourself to be either successful or not.
The responsibility.
Responsibility, or at least to do your best. It's very easy for us to blame. Like a coach would blame the players for not winning the game and forget to take accountability or responsibility for his action, and maybe he didn't coach enough. The players will blame the coach will blame the board will blame the other staff,
and
saying that
a lot of confusion.
So there's a lot of blame going around. It's like that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate your time.
I genuinely appreciate every single person who took part in this production. Tell me, why do you really go to church, or why don't you? I can't wait to hear from you. Your comment means so much to me, and it can save someone. So here is where we draw the curtain. Please like and subscribe to this channel, and I'm going to catch you up in the next one. My name still remains Chinonso Aguzie. Bye bye for now.